My dear children, November 14th is celebrated as Children's Day throughout our country. Have you ever thought why it is so? November 14th is the birthday of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Nehru had a great love for children and hence he was fondly addressed by children as Chacha Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India and a central figure in Indian politics for much of the 20th century. He emerged as the paramount leader of the Indian independence movement under the tutelage of Mahatma Gandhi and ruled India from the day of independence in 1947 until his death in office in 1964. Nehru is considered to be the architect of the modern Indian nation state, a sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic. He was the father of Indira Gandhi, who is considered to be one of the most dynamic leaders the world has ever seen. Jawaharlal Nehru was born on 14th November 1899 in Allahabad in British India. His father, Motilal Nehru, a wealthy barrister, belonged to the Kashmiri Pandit community. He served twice as president of the Indian National Congress during the independence struggle. His mother, Swaruparani, came from a well-known Kashmiri Brahmin family settled in Lahore. Jawaharlal was the eldest of three children, two of whom were girls. The elder sister Vijay Lakshmi later became the first female president of the United Nations General Assembly. The youngest sister Krishna became a noted writer and authored several books on her brother. Nehru went to Trinity College in Cambridge in October 1907 and graduated with an honours degree in natural science. During this period, Nehru also studied politics, economics, history and literature. Writings of Binod Shah, H.G. Wells, Bertrand Russell molded much of his political and economic thinking. After completing his degree in 1910, Nehru went to London and stayed there for 2 years for law studies. After returning to India in August 1912, Nehru enrolled himself as an advocate of the Allahabad High Court and tried to settle down as a barrister. But unlike his father, he did not have much interest in his profession and did not relish either the practice of law or the company of lawyers. Nehru wrote, "Decidedly, the atmosphere was not intellectually stimulating, and a sense of the utter dullness of life grew upon me." His involvement in nationalist politics would gradually replace his legal practice in the coming years. His close association with the Congress dates from 1919 in the immediate aftermath of World War I. Nehru first met Gandhi in 1916 at the Lucknow session of the Congress. It was to be the beginning of a lifelong partnership between the two, which lasted until Gandhi's death. Nehru quickly rose to prominence with Gandhi as his mentor. By late 1921, he had already become one of the most prominent leaders of the Congress. He was elected General Secretary of the Congress Party for 2 terms in the 1920s. Nehru's second term as General Secretary began with the Madras session of the Congress in 1927. The first big national involvement of Nehru came at the onset of the non-cooperation movement in 1920. He led the movement in the United Provinces, which is today called Uttar Pradesh. Nehru drafted the Indian Declaration of Independence, which stated, "We believe that it is the inalienable right of the Indian people, as of any other people, to have freedom and to enjoy the fruits of their toil and have the necessities of life, so that they may have full opportunities of growth. We believe also that if any government deprives a people of these rights and oppresses them, the people have a further right to alter it or abolish it." The British government in India has not only deprived the Indian people of their freedom, but has based itself on the exploitation of the masses and has ruined India economically, politically, culturally and spiritually. We believe therefore that India must sever the British connection and attain Purna Swaraj or complete independence. Nehru took office as the Prime Minister of India on 15th August 1947 and delivered his inaugural address titled "A Tryst with Destiny." Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not only or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment comes which comes but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation, long suppressed, find utterance. It is fitting that at this solemn moment we take the pledge of dedication to the service of India and her people and to the still larger cause of humanity. Nehru was a prolific writer in English and wrote a number of books such as The Discovery of India, Glimpses of the World History, and his autobiography Toward Freedom. He had written 30 letters to his daughter Indira Gandhi when she was 10 years old and was in a boarding school in Missouri, teaching about natural history and the story of civilizations. The collection of these letters was later published as a book, Letters from a Father to His Daughter. Nehru had a great love for children and roses. In fact, he often compared the two, saying that children were the buds in a garden. They should be carefully and lovingly nurtured, as they were the future of our nation and the citizens of tomorrow. He felt that children are the real strength of a country and the very foundation of a society. Most importantly, he did not discriminate between the sexes and believed in giving equal opportunities to girls and boys. In quite naturally, he was the beloved of all the children who gave him the enduring name Chacha Nehru. As a tribute to this great man and his genuine love for children, his birthday is celebrated all over India as Universal Children's Day, a day of fun and fanfare. It is celebrated with singing, dancing, and storytelling in schools and colleges as well as on radio and television. Special functions are held to honor children all over the country.